In today's video, I am going to cover the 7 traits every 6 to 7 figure Amazon seller possess that I have ever met. I think this is extremely important to know these 7 traits. I do not possess all of them. I'm constantly working on it, so I wanted to share them with you. I was literally just sitting down thinking about an event I was just at and rereading my notes, and all this stuff just came to mind, and I wanted to share it with you guys. If you are new to the channel, I am John Muscarello, and I am a 6-figure Amazon seller. I do online arbitrage and also little books still. And if you want to learn about how to sell on Amazon, how to make money on Amazon, this is the channel for you. Please subscribe, please like the video, please share it with a friend. It would mean the world to me. Let's just get into the video. So I'm gonna lay out the 7 different traits that all these successful entrepreneurs and Amazon sellers possess. Gonna save the best for last just because why not? And let's get into number 1. I have a little paper over here that I'm looking at if it gets weird, just so I can stay on track here. Okay, so number 1, they are focused on their business, their model, and not other people. It was crazy. There are some people in the room who were in the same business model that had no idea what the other person was doing. You would think if you all are in the same group, or you're all doing online arbitrage, you're all selling books, that you would know what the other people are up to, what they're doing differently from you, or what they're doing better. But it turns out they really do not pay attention to each other. They might ask each other for advice from time to time, but that even seems rare. They are just so head down focused in their business. They are decided. They're either doing wholesale, online arbitrage. Some are doing a hybrid, wholesale, online arbitrage, or all books, or all private label. There's really not too much crossover there. I would argue that OA and wholesale could kind of be in one category itself, because you're just basically sourcing product the same way. But in one case you buy from an online store, and in the other case you buy from a wholesaler. But they are very, very clear what model they want to pursue, and they want to be the absolute best at that model. I could do a much better job of that in my business, and I'm currently working on that. But that is one thing I've noticed that was a really big thing. Number 2, they set goals and they know their why. Whether it's they didn't want to work for someone else, they had a bad experience working for someone else, they grew up poor, they had no money. They are very, very intentional about what they want from the business as well. For some people, it's money. For others, it's freedom. But I would say overall, they just have these little things that they really care about, and that's what really drives them. It isn't some secret sauce or anything like that. They just set these huge goals, aren't 100% sure how they're going to get there, and basically figure it out along the way. A lot of people asked sellers that were doing over 50 million, how could you see yourself from maybe 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50? And their answer was, we didn't. It was step A to B, B to C, D to E, and they just worked their way up. They just took the next viable step that made sense in their situation, which was kind of surprising to me. That was kind of how they did it. We all think they're secrets and whatnot, but that's how they do it. They just step over the next hurdle. They don't worry about doing $50 million right now. They worry about getting to their first 500,000, their first million, their first 1.5, their first 2, so on and so forth. This was a big, big takeaway for me. Number 3, every one of them has gotten help, whether it was paid coaching, bought a course, went to networking events that kind of just changed their life. They learned someone, met someone there that really had a huge impact on their business. They all, even to this day, watch YouTube videos to try to figure out things that they don't know. And they also really love helping others because they got help themselves. A lot of them have been selling much longer on Amazon than probably most of us, hence why they're doing a lot of numbers. Not necessarily true, because there are a lot of people who are probably selling on a long time that aren't doing as big numbers. But that is a huge part for me. I am one to not like to ask for help, which really hurts me at times. But I'm getting better at that as we go and really learning the importance of that. But yeah, also getting help, watching YouTube videos, networking with people who DM me on Instagram, like that all counts as help. You DMing someone for help, that all counts. But everyone had a story about how they went somewhere, met someone, talked to someone, and it just really changed the game for them. And as they leveled up, they just met more successful people, talked to more successful people, and it just sped up their growth process. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I should have numbered these. Most of them are after freedom and not money. Obviously, money is important because they want their business to grow. They have employees who have families that they need to feed, and they really care about them, and they want to build a good culture. But for a lot of them, from my takeaway, was yes, money is important, but once they kind of got like what they wanted, I guess, like some wanted like a car, some wanted to just fly first class, some wanted just to be able to have 2 houses or whatever it was. And there was some person who was very, very successful, and someone asked, "Hey, what do you splurge on?" And he was like, "Nothing really." Like he didn't even have an answer. They just loved the game of building the business bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's probably why they're able to do it. Someone was saying like, "Hey, if you don't like this game, you're just doing it for the money, you don't have a shot," because Amazon is really hard to really build it up to the next level. If that's where you want to take it, you really have to love what you're doing. You have to love the game, what's going on in the game. So I thought that was very interesting. And a lot of them know the number they want. Yes, they're always constantly climbing to hit bigger numbers. Some aren't. Some are happy kind of just doing a little better, and it's a lifestyle business for them. Others just want to crush it and do more and more business. Number 5. This one is kind of not really reselling related, but it's something I note in every single reseller, and I lack big time in this area, is a lot of them are in very good shape and care a lot about health. The 2 biggest sellers there, we're talking about how, you know what, when you are the boss of the business and it's on you, it's in your best interest to be as healthy as possible, because your current situation is the business's current situation. If you're not feeling healthy, if you're not feeling energized, your business isn't going to be energized, your business isn't going to be healthy, things are going to be falling through the cracks. And yeah, I really took that one to heart. Every person at this event that spoke or was on stage was in good shape, talked about the importance of going to the gym, meditating, or whatever they do to stay mentally and physically healthy. And I just thought that was, usually it's not super apparent, stuff like that, but I just really noticed it, especially I've been going to these events like, I don't know, 2-3 years now. And for some reason, this time it just really hit me. And I was like, wow, like that's true for all of them. So I am really, really pushing to do more for myself in fitness. It can no longer just be like something that maybe fits in. It's going to be a priority. I already started doing that. Next one, number 6. The next 2 are probably the hardest traits to grab, but having them make the biggest difference in mindset and taking your business to the next level. These, in my opinion, are the most important. If you can really get these nailed down, you're going to be in a great spot. So they are and believe in patience. Amazon to them is a long game. We all talk about, is Amazon going to be around? with all the changes, will we be able to still sell product on there? Will online arbitrage be vital? Will retail arbitrage? Will wholesale? All this stuff. And they will tell you, because they've been selling for 10, 12 years on the platform, that every year there's something like this, that the fees increase and they say, oh, like it will no longer be viable. Like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And here they are 12 years later, still crushing it. It's all about adapting and moving and pivoting and making it work for you and for Amazon. And that's part of the game. That is business. You have to adapt. You have to make changes. When the market changes, you have to go with it. You have to be different. You just have to know that it is a long game and it's not a great idea to try to get there overnight. I kind of experienced this doing OA when I first started. I thought that I could really just buy a lot of stuff and really jack up my sales, but that wasn't really the best strategy because I bought some not great stuff because of that. If I just would have kind of gradually upped the spend as I went, and really focused on ways to find great product, it would have done me much better than trying to go compete with people who have been doing online arbitrage for 3 or 4 years or even 2 years. I've only been doing it 6 months seriously. So to be able to compete with them, everyone has different capital, and it's really important, like kind of number one that I talked about, it's really, really important to stay focused and play your own game and be in your own business. The last and most important one, in my opinion, and if you're still here, I thank you so much, number one. Number two, I really think if you're still listening to this and want the seventh one, you have a good chance of having a 6 to 7 figure business, because a lot of people do not talk about this. Again, I mean, I'm only a 6-figure Amazon seller, but I don't know. I've been hanging out with a lot of bigger sellers lately, and this is just kind of what I've noticed. And this is the biggest one and the most counterintuitive, and that is they do not possess any special traits or have any secrets. They are just like you and me. That sounds so counterintuitive to this whole video, but when you listen to everyone's story, you hear them speak on stage, they will tell you a couple things. They've all worked incredibly hard to get here. They, none of them got funding. They weren't like a tech startup. Maybe they got like a 5 to 10K loan or something along the way, or, leveraged credit cards and stuff like that. But they all have worked incredibly hard. It just didn't plop into their lap. You just don't build a huge business overnight not working hard. Two, they all had hardships starting, whether it was finding inventory, finding sources, finding good help. The stuff that we all struggle with, I struggle with, on a very small level, but they were once at this very small level struggling where we were. It's very hard to see someone where you're at when they're so much further ahead, but they were once in your spot. So that's important to remember. Number three, which is a scary one, but they've all had major account issues with Amazon or problems with Amazon. Suspensions, IP claims, intellectual property claims, bad feedback, you name it, they've been through it, some more serious than others, and they always got through it. It wasn't easy. One of the bigger sellers there, lost 25% of their sales because of something stupid that happened. The listing got misqualified or something, and they lost a ton of revenue for the size they are at 25%. But they worked with Amazon, got some help, consultants to figure out how to get back selling those products, and worked through it. And I'm going to do another part here. They're all very bullish on Amazon, and that seems so obvious. But when you talk to them, they are not like, oh, there's not going to be an Amazon in 3 or 4 years. Oh, like you're not going to be able to do arbitrage in 3 to 5 years. Or, they're not like, oh, all the brands are going to come on. They truly think that a lot of sellers will help brands get on the platform and manage brands' platforms, and that there'll always be arbitrage, and that the game is always changing. Like we kind of talked about this earlier, the game is always changing. So if you're changing with the game, then you have a very good shot at continuing to be able to play the game. And number 5, and the last one, I know we've been going a little long here, but these are all super important. I know it's a very different video, but I think it's important, so I'm going to put it out there. They all have the same fears as us. One of the people there, I'll just call them out, Amazon Lit, Sebastian, someone asked them, how do you get from being comfortable spending, 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000, and he was like, "Why do you what are you afraid of? I don't understand." And the guy was basically just like, "Well, I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. I'm afraid I'm not going to know what I'm doing, and it's just all going to go away." And he just looked him in the eyes and was just like, "Dude, I have the same fears as you do. It's just on a much, much higher level. I'm afraid I'm going to let down my employees. I'm afraid we're going to make a bad buy. I'm afraid we're going to have account issues." And just think about that. For them to have the same fears, they have the same fears as we do, but times like 20, 30, 40. Like, think about that, right? When you're spending $20, $30 million on product, or millions of dollars a month on inventory, like, just think about that. Like, if you're stressing out about a $5,000 to $10,000 credit card bill, just imagine if that number was $1 million, $2 million. It's definitely a crazy idea, and who knows, maybe one day it could be that for you. But those are the 7 traits that I came up with that I have noticed and used. Just to recap them real quick, they are focused on their business. They set huge goals and know their why. Everyone has gotten help and overcome stuff. Most people are selling on Amazon for freedom and not money. They're all in really good shape and think health and fitness is very important. They are patient and have been in the game for 5, 10, 12 years, have seen a lot, know just some stuff is just normal, not to worry about it. And they don't possess anything much different than us. Everything they have done, we could do as well, because they were where we were at one time, and a lot of it came down to hard work and just going through the motions, learning what they had to learn, growing, and just going from there and taking it to the next level. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you don't know, I have a free online arbitrage tracking spreadsheet you could use to track the products you're buying, keep track of the buy costs, pretty much everything I use, all the columns in a Google Doc. So that will be down below if you want a copy of that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.